Welcome, everyone, to the Tony Sirianni podcast. I am thrilled to have my friend Charles Reiling, President and CEO of CoastalOne, with us today. I see that you have the State House, the Mayor's House. What is that you got in the background?
City Hall, Tony.
City Hall of Philadelphia. Very nice.
Center City, Philadelphia.
Very nice. It's a lot of fun. Well, we have a lot going on, Charles, in the business right now. We're facing a lot of headwinds. I mean, inflation seems to get better than it's not. And I know advisors are, we're earning our pay right now, right? I mean, your guys must be feeling the same thing.
I think they are. I think everybody is.
Yeah. And sitting down, talking with their clients, trying to figure out, what's the best way to position myself, going forward. I think it's funny. Did you see that article about the 60-40 model doesn't work anymore, or at least it hasn't worked through the last?
Yeah, there's been more than one article about that of late. Right. Yeah. That seems to be sort of the most recent buzz. And, and I'll go back to something you said earlier. I think this is when advisors earn their pay, right? We had said this is advisors are earning their pay, but these are the times when they earn it, right? It's not so much when everything's going up and you can throw a dart at a dartboard and hit something that's increasing in value. But this is the time when advisors either shine or sink.
Well, I know that you're a guy who likes to get out there. You're thrilled to be, we're not stuck in COVID. You want to press the flesh. You meet advisors. You love talking to them. What are you hearing from them in the field?
Well, we focus, and our advisors are spending quite a bit of time going back to what you just mentioned, that article about 60-40. We're hearing more and more about the use of alternatives in portfolios, right? And that's what that article was talking about. And I think that's where advisors are finding some I don't want to use the word safe haven, because alternatives by their nature aren't safe, right? But we just experienced something that is either, I don't recall, it was either unprecedented or it hasn't happened in forever. And that's when we've had equity and bond markets both negative returns in the same time period. Yeah. We need something else, right? I think that we as a society have expanded beyond the traditional investment opportunities.
Well, you guys, obviously you've built a business around that, right? So you built a business around, alternative, products. And I think certainly that now is the time, right? People are feeling it. It's been a benefit to clients, but it still has to be done sort of in that overall financial plan with a client, right? You're not throwing it.
There is no doubt. We're intentionally building our business around traditional advisory services, right? Our ideal representative or financial professional here is an advisory oriented individual, but looking to sort of stand out and round out those client portfolios with bespoke alternative investments that you might not find anywhere else.
Right. And for clients, I mean, look, if I'm an advisor, what in your mind are sort of the best reasons to, I mean, obviously we talked about earning your pay now. So now is a great time. You could talk about, the return on these investments, right? That's clear. But what are some of the other reasons you might want to say, hey, look, I need to build a portfolio full of alternatives?
Well, one, non-correlation to your typical traditional markets, right? Again, in a world where there is no safe haven, where both equity markets and fixed income markets are both delivering negative returns, we need something else. So that's certainly one reason. It's your traditional diversification. We're adding another asset class to it.
Yeah, I think that also not just the standard stuff. When an advisor is looking for a firm that they want to go to, especially today, right? I know that's one of the things you talk about with them. So when you talk about advisor about coming to CoastalOne, You mentioned that, hey, we have this great alternatives platform, right? I mean, it's got to be resonating today a lot.
Right. What when we're talking to a prospective advisor, we want them to know, one, that we have everything that they need, right? Our job as a firm is to deliver a platform to an advisor that has everything that they need, and also be able to deliver it in a way that is customized to that advisor, right? We talk a lot about delivering customized portfolios to individuals, right? And that's what the advisors we work with tend to do, right? It's not cookie cutter, it's not necessarily models, but it's a customized solution to that client to serve that client's needs.
And also because go ahead. So I was going to say, because of the, because alternatives, there's a risk element there that you really don't want to cookie cutter this thing. And so you need to be percent here, right? I mean, that's get in trouble.
And we've seen that, look, making bad decisions, performing poor due diligence, that can be the downfall of a firm, right? We've seen that. So we take our alternative investment platform and offerings very seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the advisors they know that you're doing the due diligence here. You guys are doing a lot of due diligence on the products you offer. So, and I think that's one of the challenges. If I'm if I'm on my own in my own RIA and I know this is the right thing for my clients, I mean, in a general way, I want 10% or 15%, just to as a hedge. But there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of, you got to go through a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, Tom. We certainly have continued to evolve in that arena. We have put more and more of our dollars into the due diligence department that's reviewing these types of products, because we think they're here to stay, and we think they're just going to get more and more prevalent. That said, that doesn't negate the individual advisor's responsibility to do their own due diligence as well, right? The due diligence that we as a firm are doing is to ensure that that product, passes certain minimum thresholds and is appropriate for some investors somewhere, right?
Right.
But at the same time, we encourage our advisors to do their own due diligence on every product to make sure that it's right for their particular clients.
Yeah, they got to know their clients,
and they got to know their clients. That's right.
Now, in terms of, the other thing we see going out there, I mean, you and I have talked about this, I see our industry sort of, coalescing in the middle. I'll be writing about this, where there's a wide agreement that, firms, the primacy of the client advisor relationship, you own your book, you can build it like, develop equity in yourself kind of thing. I think advisors, we're aging, they're looking at succession planning, and those are some of the concerns that they have, but they want to have a firm that's culturally sort of, where the future of the business is not like a big bank owned thing where they tell you what to do. It's a little more independent. You guys are kind of there, who in that middle ground, with a guy who has a succession issue or, wants to build his business. Who are you looking for? And, who in your mind would most benefit from your platform?
Right. Well, thanks. Look, and let me just sort of build on something you said. Let me start with, we believe in the power of the advisor, right? We believe in the value of the advisor. We believe in the strength of the advisor. I know that if you look at some of the technology that's been developed over the last few years, a lot of that is done, and maybe not with the intent, but certainly with the result of disintermediating the advisor. And
you're talking about like commoditization of all these, right? Everyone has to do the same thing, and everyone,
that's right. And that's the way that works well, right? Is doing the same thing. Everybody talks about creating scale on these fintech products. Well, scale is the repeat, right? It's the model, and it's repeat, and it's doing the same thing for everybody. That's what scale is. We believe in the value of the advisor, in that one-on-one personal relationship with their clients, and in supporting that. We believe, and we know that we can deliver value to those advisors. If you talk about a target advisor, we certainly believe that advisors that have client assets of anywhere at 50 million or higher, we can really, really do a good job for those. And we think those advisors have been left in the dust.
That is an underserved market. I agree. And I think, look, a lot of people are starting and they got $50 million. They're looking to grow. They want, and those guys are undervalued. You know what I mean? It's not that easy to put together $50 million. First of all, people forget.
It's not easy to put together 50 million. No. And what they're being asked to do by a lot of the firms that might bring them in is to just plug into those firms' models, because that's scale. That's what scale is. Right. And that's not the way we operate. We are here to support that advisor. We believe that if that our job is to help an advisor do what's legal, what's ethical, what's compliant with the applicable rules, and then get out of their way. Right. You build your practice the way you want to. We're going to support you in the growth of that practice. We have a deep bench. We have expertise in a lot of the areas that an advisor needs. But we make no bones about it. We're not in front of them. We're behind them, supporting them, and helping them build their practice on top of us.
And for a $50 million advisor, I think it helps. I mean, back to alternatives though, just as because I know that's part of your platform. I mean, that adds a level of sophistication, right? It adds a level of, I know you, and you have other things, right? You do everything, you guys are, but you want to, if I got 50 million bucks, 75 million, 100, whatever, but we can go there, we could do everything, and you can have the sophisticated. I think I know that there's two things advisors, when they're at wirehouse type firms, think about and are concerned about. And even if you're independent RA, I'm going to go to a firm and I'm going to have a diminution in technology, and I'm going to have a diminution in the type and quality of products that I could use. Those and two big fears. And
that is not the case when you come to a firm like ours, right? Because those are the two biggest areas that we focus upon, right? Technology is a constant for us here at the firm. We're constantly looking at it, evaluating it, trying to make it better. But again, with a very unique perspective, we're not here to cookie cutter advisors into our tech.
Right.
We're here to ensure that what they want to use for their particular practice, because every practice is different. So therefore, the tech that an advisor is going to depend upon will vary from advisor to advisor. And it's our job to incorporate what they want into us, not the other way around, right? So it's very important to us. Where we spend our time is focusing on eliminating the swivel chairing, right? Where you're constantly having to enter data into multiple platforms, right? So we've come up with a solution called CoastalOne, actually CoastalOne's Synergy Plus platform, that for the most part is going to take whatever technology that an advisor wants to use and eliminate the need to make multiple data entries, right?
That's a big deal.
APIs, and it's all going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that's very important to us, because again, we're building this with the advisor in mind. So what's going to make the advisor's day more efficient, easier, and cut down on NIGOs and just make your practice run more efficiently.
Right.
That's what we look at when we're implementing technology. And we're also looking at products on the platform. What's going to enhance an advisor's practice, what's going to enhance their clients' returns, and what's going to set them apart, right, from the cookie cutter firms and the big banks.
Right. Look, I think that's obviously one of the drivers of movement to independence, right? Is the idea, and you've addressed, the fear, and then of course the greed element of it is why I can maybe build a better book, do better for my clients, and get more clients.
Right. You can build a better book and keep a greater percentage of what you generate in revenue. Right.
That wouldn't be too bad either.
Yeah, certainly.
So in terms of things like succession,
and let me just jump back. And it puts us. I remember when I started my career almost 30 years ago. There was a lot of talk about as an investment advisor, when you function from an investment advisor relationship, and I'll be clear, we support all business models, whether it's traditional brokerage or investment advisory, right? You build your practice and we're going to help you build it, how you want to do it. But there was a lot of conversation around being on the same side of the table with a client, right? And we talked about that. As an investment advisor, you're on the same side of the table. You're not trying to sell them a product, right? Their assets grow, your assets grow. We're on the same side of the table as the advisor.
Yeah.
right? We're all interested in the same thing, which is helping advisors grow their practices. Because if that grows, so too do we.
Right. In terms of any specific things, like I think that, again, given the age of our population, the succession is an issue, right? All the time. So people must come to you with that. I'm assuming that's a bespoke custom, deal with you guys as well.
It is. So we have a lot of talented people here at the firm, and we are intentional in trying to bring in young advisors. Right, we're always looking at bringing in young advisors to marry them up. Not a forced marriage, right? Which I know other firms have tried to do, but make them available to our retiring population. I think that through us, we have several options in terms of succession planning. One of which is we're going to find the right fit for you here at the firm. And that's not a process that happens overnight. It's not a cookie cutter process. But as we've continued to grow, we have a lot of options here.
Right.
So we will certainly introduce our retiring representatives to representatives we think would be a good fit for them. And we'll facilitate that process. We'll help you interview the appropriate individuals and make a selection. If that is not a route you want to go, we also have a program where we as a firm may be interested in acquiring that advisor's practice directly. Right. And we've got a backlog of young advisors that we're bringing into the business. So if we don't identify somebody up front, the firm can bring somebody in and we'll find the right fit internally.
Yeah, great. Well, I mean, look, I think that's what people are signing up for, right? When they're going to a boutique firm where they're trying to figure out, this is what I want things really done for me and my clients, because you want to feel like you're unique, and then you sign those agreements, and it's just a lot of times they're not perfect for you. These cookie cutters, just like we talked about, this commoditization of everything is this is much more old school.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm proud that it's a bit more old school.
Yeah, I would be too. Hey, look, believe it or not, we're into 20 minutes or so here. Is there something that you wanted? I know, because it goes fast. Now we can do this again. A lot more to talk about. Anything you wanted me to ask that I didn't ask, or anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about today that we can get to quickly?
Tony, I can't think of anything right now. Probably when we're finished, I'll think of three.
Of course, that's the way that works.
But no, I think this conversation went well. I mean, in the end, we really focused on three things, right? It's technology, because technology is a great equalizer.
Yeah.
And you look at, I don't know if I can say the name. I say that, Michael Kitches's, right, his one pager, and I've been following him for years, and I can remember when I had to squint to look at that. And the fintech options that are out there today are mind-boggling. There's just so many. So we view it as one of our primary roles is to sift through that and figure out what works best for advisors. Now, that said, that doesn't mean that we're imposing that on them. We certainly view it as part of our job is to incorporate what you want to use in your practice, and we support your practice, and we'll do that. It's access to bespoke alternative product on the platform, and it's everything else too, right? The rest of it's table stakes. We have to have a good investment advisory program, which we do. We have to have excellent execution and access to fixed income and all of those things that you just have to bring. We have all that stuff, right? And we have customized solutions available for our advisors in maximizing their respective practices. We don't forget the practice is theirs. They own that practice. We're here to support you.
Well, that's refreshing right there. I tell you that much. So it's been great talking with you, Charles. Like I said, we'll do this again. Appreciate what you guys are doing out there, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
You got it.
Take care.